Ready to hit the pause button on your parenting fails? Ready to feel better about your parenting? Welcome to Parenting Pause, the podcast, where all of you is welcome. I'm Leslie Potter, the founder of the Pure Joy Way, a mother, a parent coach, and a fellow traveler on this journey to wake up in our parenting. And I believe together we can make this a better world for ourselves and our kiddos. Parenting in the moment. I don't know about you, but I found this concept to be absolutely wonderful. I thought, wow, that sounds, like so conscious and aware and wonderful. And yet, when it really came down to it, it felt almost impossible. And this may be true for you also. What I found is that my mind would either go into the past or it would go into the future, right? And often when it would go into the past, it would go into some nightmare situation or what had gone wrong before. I would see my daughter through the eyes of my conditioning or something that she had done in the past, or it would trigger something that I had done in the past, such as her being demanding. It would trigger all this energy of, well, that's not good to be that way because that's being selfish. And it would trigger back all this past information that I had, right? And then on the upside or on the out in front side, in the future side, I would often fantasize, about who she was going to be and how she was going to be and what she was going to be. I would shoot out this fantasy that I was trying to get her to, right? If I wanted her to be really good in school, or I had this fantasy that she was going to be a gymnast, right? And so I had this fantasy outside that everything was focused on trying to move toward that. And so it made it very, very hard if I was in that past or in that future to actually listen and be with my daughter and where she was in the present moment. And the reason I found out that that was true was because it was incredibly hard for me to be in the present moment with myself. I started noticing I didn't want to be here, or I always wanted to be over there. And then I started going, well, what about where I am right now? How am I going to meet that energy? Because I had been trained, which most of us are, and you may have been too, to always be trying to be better or get, more money or more things or more success. I was always again, reaching out into this future. And if I wasn't where I thought I should be, then I was reaching back into this past that told me that I was lazy and told me that I wasn't good enough or I was rejectable, right? And so I was having a really hard time just actually offering kindness to where I was, right, in that moment. And it felt almost impossible, especially in my parenting, because it was really hard to sit down in where we were, both of us, in our relationship or in that moment, and to actually meet that moment without, again, coming to some conclusion about what that moment meant or where we should be in the future. So I like to tell the story of, I don't like to be late. I don't know about you, but I don't like to be late. And so I felt like I would wake up in the morning and I would actually be throwing my daughter a rope. I was already at school, right? So I'd be throwing her a rope and I'd be pulling her the whole way. And I wondered why she was resisting. Right? When I look at it now, well, who wouldn't? Right? I was just like, get up, you got to hurry, you got to do this, you got to do that, we got to get to school, because I was already into the future. I was already at school because I didn't want to be late. And so I was way out there. And it was just I have to say, it was crazy zone in our house in the morning, because she would go the opposite way. She would go backwards. The more I pulled her, the more she would pull back. So one day, I don't know why this happened, but one day I miraculously just thought, well, what if I just meet her where she is? And she was in the bed and she was kind of rolling around and not getting up. And I said, well, okay. Now, first of all, I had to be willing to be late. And this was really hard for me, but I had to say, okay, if we're late, it's not a disaster. So we're late. And I crawled back into bed with her and I started playing with her, loving her, like surrounding her with love and snuggles. And we were just laughing and hanging out in the bed. And the bizarrest thing happened. It was like the next thing I knew, we were at school. It was like I had fallen into some kind of wormhole or something, or some black hole that got us to school, but I'm not really sure how, because I wasn't using my pull from the future to bring her to me. I entered back into the present moment. And in that moment, like this huge light bulb went off for me. It was like, oh, I'm always ahead. And anytime I get ahead, my daughter pulls behind, right? Or if I'm behind, my daughter will pull ahead. And so I started kind of understanding polarities. And so when I got clear that I could sit more in the balance of the two, I could sit down in the middle of being right where I was and right with my daughter, right where she was. It was like the door just opened. Like I say, I fell into that wormhole. It's happened over and over and over in my life since then, with myself, with my daughter, with the world. But it's challenging because we're trained. We're trained into that future, or we're trained to look back to that past. So this week, what I suggest for you, if you notice that you're suffering or you have this anxiety or this worry, anything that's coming up, see what happens when you just take a moment. It can just take a moment and put your hand on your heart and just offer kindness to where you are, even if it's anxiety, or even if it's not getting out of the house, or even if it's judging yourself, whatever's happening. Just see what happens when you put your hand on your heart and you just say, whew, I'm going to offer kindness to where I am, instead of judging it from the past or trying to reach some future place. All right, lovies, I hope you enjoy your week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Pure Joy message out. Come on over to the Pure Joy Parenting Practice Facebook page or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the Safe Seat course on the Pure Joy website. And while there, check out the offerings page to go deeper in the Pure Joy work.